All right, y'all. Now it's time to get excited. I'm excited as a mug. This Georgia-Tennessee game is about to be crazy. Before I said, play the teams that are ahead of you. Don't worry about nothing. Yeah, they lay waste to both of them teams there. Put on a clinic, absolute masterclass against Kentucky, which you would have to say outside of Georgia's win over Oregon might be the most impressive win in the entire college football landscape, straight up. Let's get into a little bit of the physicality of Tennessee. I'm going to have a little bit here. I'm going to come back during the week and expound on it a little bit more. I'm kind of pressed for time right here, but, man, the physicality on this one, check them out. See, pulling the tackle Crawford here, right? Running that gap scheme. You can see the physicality on down here, down blocks. And your man Jalen Wright right here, this was hard on this counter action going on. A little bit of LOL too. This is when I knew Kentucky was in trouble. See the counter action here, pulling that, snapshot it, look at that. I didn't give the offensive line enough credit last time. This offensive line is definitely one of the very best in college football. Probably as good as Georgia's offensive line, which has some notable names on it there. Tennessee's offensive line right there. Look at this. Come on, man. You could drive a semi through that bad boy. And then right here, always got to make that first guy miss. Does that and split. Tire. Bink that man to the side of his dome. We got to see that again. I don't know if y'all saw that right here. My man right here caught a cold one, right? Putting his head on the outside right here, catching nothing but knees and shins, everything like that. And, of course, it was game over for him. Because homeboy was asleep. See, check it out. My man's doing a good job, right? He's putting his head on the outside. He's trying to do it how it's taught, but, hey, sometimes these things happen. Bink! Don't bink them right there. And you can see that physicality, man. Well, think about it. This is your shifty guy, your smaller shifty back here. He's binking you upside the head, right? Dome binking you, air sleeping you and all that right there. You know you in for a long night. And my man's able to keep his balance, put a good dexterity, balance, and everything. And then you know the rest. Can't show the rest, but hey, man, that is some good work by that offensive line. And having multiple running backs, I think, that are capable of being game-breaking running backs. You have to think that if someone were to possibly or perhaps take away that vaunted passing game, or nobody's going to take it away, but limit it, I feel like they have the ability to switch their pitch at a moment's notice and can work from a pretty light box just for the fact that they align their receivers so far out, and they can run power out of that and everything, one back power. You got to say that, man, they are a vast offense. Now, look what happened on this perimeter play right here. Yaka. Ooh. What? Them boys were out there being physical, right? Straight up took UK's soul in more ways than one. Look at this. Splut tire. Come on, man. Look at this. There's all kinds of stuff going on with this. What a hit, man. You can kind of say he was high load, but hey, it is. They were out there sending messages to these boys. Look at that. Physiologically speaking, your feet ain't supposed to be turned like that. My man was done. That whole team was done once they saw them boys out there being physical, finesse and everything. And, of course, my man got up real. When you get up that quick, man, you are part of the Walking Dead. You are in the afterlife. My man got up like... One more game right here. Look at this. Oh, what a hit. Look at his feet. Who was that hit him? Roman Harrison out there? Oh, man. My man caught a cold one. He was on the sideline, too, like a walker. Hey, when your teammate turns to a walker like that, man, you just be like, damn. You be like, man, I hope he don't bite me. Look at the coach. The coach like, damn, another one bites the dust. Come on, man. Tennessee was hella physical out there. I said it before, what makes Tennessee very hard to defend is that all quadrants of the field are in play. You talk about throwing opposite hash throws. Now, I talk about opposite hash throws a lot in my material because to me that denotes arm strength. More so than putting all your body English into something and throwing a 50-yard pass high in the air. You have to keep this on a rope, and it has to be humming. I've picked these passes off before. I've seen them picked off before. These are difficult throws. Now, you talking about doing it in this Josh Heupel offense with the plus splits? I can see it with numbers grips, and I'm excited. You talk about plus splits here. Look at this curl to Brew McCoy here. You got just pretty much stick routes across the board here. And working a quick game and being able to work all quadrants of the field and something that this damn far out because you have a quarterback and a hooker who has the arm strength and the accuracy to get it done. Look at this. Jakob, come on. Outside the numbers from the opposite hash, what do you do with that? If you want to try to stay with your zone principles going on, your zone concepts, I believe they'll just eat that alive. It's going to take a team like Georgia who can play man defense and be able to have the guys who can spy or guys who can run sideline to sideline, because Hendon Hooker is definitely an above average athlete. He can detach from the pocket, move the chains that way. That's a lot of stuff to defend, especially when they got guys like Jalen Hyatt, guys like Cedric Tillman who can get vert with it as well. And then that run game with the offensive line, I'm telling you, that's the makings of a very special all-time type offense, and all come together in pretty much one season. You can see Tennessee working coverage across the board here and the ability to drive on these quick game routes. Here's another one, Danico Slaughter. Oh! Look at that. Got my man flailing around and everything. Another weekend at Bernie's moment right there. That man was no longer with us. Look at that. Head on the outside, just like old boy tried to do before, but he caught it in the sweet spot right here. I'm telling you right now, if you've never been a part of something like this, never played the game, you catch a mama jumper in the bread basket, it's like running through a cardboard box. He's light as a feather. Look at that. Then drove him with it. Dang. Insult to injury. Oh, what's going on here? Some weird missionary style. Weird missionary style happened from this, man. This dude was all out of sorts. Dang. Look how long his legs are, too. His legs still, look, his feet's way out here. He got lit up and elongated. Man, about 7'3" after getting hit like that. I'm telling you, man. Here we go. Look at this opposite hash throw from suspect Will Levis. Oh, look at him drive on it. Almost pick that off there. This is what I'm saying. While this was a bad decision, it just lets you know the type of risk that you take when you throw these opposite hash throws, because it's not about just heave-hoing it. Oh, almost deflected into Danico Slaughter. But Tennessee was doing a great job with a lot of his zone principles when they was able to keep eyes on Will Levis, who had a horrific game. And people better bring that up, because some people say that he's the best quarterback in all of college football. I don't see it, but they made him look like that. Come on, man. You got to give this Tennessee defense a little credit. Now, the run defense, though, while they were focused on the pass, I don't know if they can put them both together. That run defense was mad suspect to me, with a lot of terrible gap discipline, if anything. Hi, sports fans, another royal pairing connection as the king of online sports betting done hooked up with the underground king once again to spread the news. Listen, $5, yes, $5 measly dollars could get you $200 in free betting. $200 from $5. Listen, do the math, right? I ain't good at math, but I want you to do the math for me. That's asinine. $5 will get you $200. All you have to do is go to your Google Play Store or your Apple Store, however you get your apps, and get to downloading that DraftKings Sportsbook app, baby, because it's about to be a whole lot of fun, especially when you enter the promo code TOPBILLIN and get to winning. Lots of fun this season, and it doesn't stop at just football, right? I'm all in it, baby, for basketball, baseball, whichever sport you like. DraftKings has you covered like makeup. And guess what? If you don't have online sports betting in your state, it does not matter, because DraftKings Daily Fantasy is where it's at. And make sure you don't forget about those same game parlays as well. That's where you can enter multiple bets in the same game and level up for even more winning. 5 will get you 200. Tell them the Underground King sent you, baby. Let's have some fun, all right? Salute. So they kind of chalked this up on the telecast, as you saw right there, a switch between Tillman and Hyatt. Now you have Hyatt in the slot, and ultimately you'll have twin routes, but going against what looks to be a cover 4 man-on skill. So you have a 4 deep shell with guys with a quarter of the field. However, you have to take into account you have man-on skills. So this guy should be in man coverage. He almost plays it like he's just working flat duty. You have a wheel route. Well, first of all, you have a kind of a bang 8 here by Tillman, and then a wheel route coming behind that with my man Hyatt running the rails. Same thing over here, but you can see they do it a little bit better over here, running behind this wheel route, but staying where they're supposed to stay. So you get a linebacker out here. You call that cement shoes. He's not going to be able to run with Jalen Hyatt even if he wanted to, but then it looks like he doesn't understand the coverage as well. So we see him now, right, walking out over Hyatt. He's going to pretty much press and curl, right? He'll press or the vicinity of it. He'll close the gap, but then just work to the flats. You see him work to the flats right there, get a little bit of friction on it, but then stay there and get eyes on the quarterback. Gaka, too easy. Too easy. If we go back right here, same thing is going on the other side. They play it a lot better here, right? When you get them kind of switch release type deals here, it's good to stay in banjo coverage, but they were able to navigate this even with it being combination coverage there. You can see him still running with the same exact route that Jalen Hyatt is running right here. But this man got lost in translation or something like that. You can see it a little bit better right here. Had he turned and ran with Jalen Hyatt, it probably still wouldn't have mattered. But to me, this might be a combination of both guys here, because if this is a quarters coverage, I don't believe it to be an off-man coverage deal here. He would still continue to sync up the field because this guy has a quarter of the field as well, and he will be coming into his quadrant. But they both go to the same receiver here and leave it wide open. I'm not sure if just the fact that he thought that he would be in man, it wouldn't matter, but he instantly realized that. And Yaakov. That's giving people a lot to think about out there. Josh Heupel doing the damn thing. All right, y'all, we're going to have to call it here. I want to come back later in the week and do kind of specific matchup stuff between Georgia and Kentucky. Some of the things that both teams can exploit. One of the things that Tennessee definitely needs to do against Georgia is it can't fabricate pressure all game long. It needs to be able to get home organically. And that goes for both teams, to be honest with you. Georgia does not have that good of a pass rush. And in fact, Georgia has a pretty poor pedestrian type of pass rush, but it has some really good players on the back end. Can that make up for it on both teams? They're actually pretty similar in that standpoint. But I believe that Tennessee fabricates pressure very well. But on this one right here, you see Dejon Terry bench pressing the guard here who couldn't cross face. Look at that. The guard tried to center him up, only was able to get half a man, and Dejon Terry ain't playing that. Prison Lovin, right? Straight jailbreak on that there, and Will Levis didn't have a chance. He just split tie out him, got fertilized right there. We see it again right here. The guard trying to come over here. They're pulling, let me see, what they're pulling their guard, so the center has to get over and reattach over there. But we see right here, unable to handle this big animal. Dejon Terry right here, the transfer, doing his thing, getting the Will Levis there. Being able to flush from the inside out, too, is definitely something that I believe both teams can do. Man, this matchup is a dream matchup, man. Big salute, man. I love to see Tennessee back on top. Like I said before, that shit brings everyone back to their childhood of people who are in their early to mid-30s, the people who saw it when Tennessee was on top. There was at one point in time where you could say if both teams were at their best, Tennessee was the better program. Obviously, things have changed now. I believe if Tennessee's at its best, Georgia's at its best, they're probably equal. Because Tennessee had that type of cachet, or really you can't say that because it's been like 20-something years. You would have to say Georgia right now, but Tennessee could get back to that where it had that cachet to where Tennessee would recruit California, recruit all around. They had those crazy-ass teams back in the day. Like I said, that particular team right there, I love watching that team. It had, I want to say it had Al Wilson on it, Jamal Lewis, all kinds of cats, man. Tough to remember right now. I want to say maybe Travis Henry and all that. It was some dope teams, some super loaded teams out there. Good to see them getting back to that. All right. But with that being said, it's your boy Mid-Atlantic Murph. Make sure you head on over to. But with that being said, it's your boy Mid-Atlantic Murph. Make sure you download that DraftKings Sportsbook app. Enter that promo code TOPBILLIN and get to winning. Help your boy out in that fashion, man. Download that sportsbook. $5 bet will get you $200 in free betting. Imagine that, all right? Salute. Strike the band.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.